Hey guys, I'm Deni, as always. I'm sure that every one of you is a fan of popular novelties. Baldur's Gate, Starfield, Mortal Kombat, and so on. Obviously, some of these games are really cool, but how many cool but not popular games you miss out on is horrible. Today, I'm going to throw you a bunch of great games that everyone is silent about for some reason. Click on the like, click on subscribe if you haven't already, and let's go. Do you miss adrenaline and dynamic gameplay? The perfect place to get it all? Good old Crossout. Tense battles, dozens of different vehicles, and hundreds of parts for their customization are waiting for you. You can make a powerful, bulletproof tank and destroy your enemies just by the look of it. Or make something smaller, but fast, and get in the back of unsuspecting enemies. In any case, Crossout is the best place to show everyone who is a real pro. Download the game at the link in the description. Obviously, don't expect LA projects here. There will be, mostly creations of not popular studios, although the first part of Blasphemous poured money to the developers, and the second, in many aspects, improved part did not wait long. You are waiting for an unrealistically gloomy Metroidvania with a man with a cone on his head. Strongly about the lore I will not tell. It is important to note that you are a martyr here and will be tormented by shoving sticks to the enemies to the tonsils. Graphics though pixelated, but as you can see it is made with soul, as well as animations too. In general, a wonderful thing. Hello to all religious fanatics, and my condolences to the rest of you. Everyone knows Raft, right? You know, the water, the raft, and all that bacchanalia. It's familiar, and I'm sure everyone knows Rust, capturing bases, shooting guns, and so on. Sunkenland is a mixture of Raft and Rust. The only thing not online, i.e. there will be no servers and players who have been sitting and puffing for years in one place. Only co-op, where you and your friends get to a bunch of archipelagos and small islands, where you can build up a base, master different water vehicles, and go traveling between islands and collect different loot from NPC bandits that in this game is. And at NPCs there are different clans and even harmful vary. So much so that they will make invasions on your base, so it is necessary to prepare well. By the way, in addition to the fact that you can swim over water between islands, so you can also underwater too, and it is already Subnautica something. In general, a mixture of such, very interesting. It is clear that it is still in alpha, but the potential as I think there is. And this is Wayfinder, and your quest is in no way to look at the fact that the game has 12,000, mostly negative reviews. The point is that the developers shit themselves to the max at launch. They made a really beautiful, varied game with a lot of mechanics. Very beautiful, but what am I explaining to you? You see it all on the screen, but the servers were a mess. Very badly pumped up, and the game was badly fucked up because guys just couldn't play. Huge queues for 2 hours of waiting, crashes, and so on. All in all, bad. It was bad. Now, everything is better, and at the time of writing the script for this video, the servers are fixed, and you can finally go to play it, and if you have friends who don't mind going to it, go, choose your character. Fly into the dungeons and enjoy the big time. Against assorted bosses. The game looks great. If you don't want to dive headfirst into some action, and you just like a good story and gameplay that isn't too complicated, then how about diving into Planet of Lana? You play as a small lady in a very beautiful world which is filled with terrible soulless machines. It's a 2D puzzle game, a bit of a platformer and a quest. From the visual side, it's just a candy, and the story is presented in such a way that you just sit and wonder at everything that is happening. It's beautiful and meaningful, and yes, I think you noticed, there is a small friend running around, either a cat or some kind of dog. On the interaction with him will be built some gameplay processes. In general, cool and very atmospheric thing. How about something space strategic? Or sci-fi maybe? Well, here you have Desynced. The game is all about automation. Your spaceship died in space. Well, it broke down and you have to launch a mountain of different automatons to some planet so that they built a repair shop, did everything there and fixed your ship. But considering that there are no conveyors in the game, as we are usually used to in games of this genre, in your logistic network, there are robots racing back and forth and carrying all sorts of junk. These robots are initially standard, but they are customizable exactly for the work for which you will need them. You can customize completely under yourself, naturally in the global plan here and the tree of technology development and improvements to robots, and there are even enemies with which a little bit of fighting will have to. If you like automation, definitely worth a try. And this is a super cool, but completely undeservedly missed by many games, about the construction and defense of your tiny kingdom. In the game itself, the developers tried to maximally remove any complexity usual for most of the classic strategies and tried to make it super simple to perceive, and they did it very well. In general, the essence is this: you are a small king, get on the map in the morning, quickly find a great place to build a hut, and erect a micro village. All of this has to be done by tonight. And no, not because the working day will be over. It's much more prosaic. Just after sunset, on your village from all sides will drag various bandits, and you and your bros will have to defend your village. Done cool. In addition, there is resource management. That's why you can't build up a lot of walls mindlessly. Dynamic meat with jumps like in Ghost Runner and blood like in Doom. What could be cooler? All in all, here is Sprawl, brutal retro in which you will try to get out of a terrible city. The only point is a little bit unaccustomed control, because you really have to endure a couple of levels at first, but with getting a shotgun, and in general at the end of the second level, everything becomes much more pleasant and comfortable in principle. Here, without any abstruse things, everything comes down to one thing: come to the location, press the button, kill everyone, go on. Sometimes there are puzzles and rain of men with machine guns, but it's not that super often. In general, while waiting for the second Ghost Runner as a replacement is more than cool. And here in front of you is a story game on a red planet, Fort Solis, which looks very good, with cool animations, but made by an indie studio. In general, the game itself is a bit of a drag, especially at first, but it's normal. It's basically a movie of 4 split episodes, no plot choices, nothing like that. It's just a linear movie, and the developers say it right off the bat. The plot goes like this: our character responds to an emergency call from some remote mining base, decides to find out what happened and goes there. At the same time, with time comes a thunderstorm, and the night suddenly, all of a sudden, does not end. In general, the clouds are thickening, and in the end, it will all come out until the very finale is not clear. Plus, the game is made on Unreal Engine 5.2, that's kind of obvious. The graphics, even in the hands of an ordinary indie studio, looks very cheerful. And this is Atlas Fallen, and it was a bit scolded when it came out and everyone forgot about it. But, in fact, if you play it at least a little bit, you'll find out that it's not so bad. Nobody positioned the game as a OA project. In terms of gameplay, it's basically a mix of Darksiders and Forspoken. I won't say anything about the plot, it's tedious and even a bit boring, but the gameplay, especially when you get a little bit of swing, becomes more enjoyable. The world is beautiful, plus a lot of monsters. Here, by the way, the game normally picked up from Monster Hunter. If you like Monster Hunter, by the way, then this thing can go too. Here is also quite a lot of customization of character skills, and there is a co-op. In general, quite normal thing. Well, and Reviews It is now already pulled up, and if you get a discount, it will be great. If you want an adventure more like an adventure, you should definitely try Oceanhorn 2. We are here in the role of a knight racing through the local world with stylization, as in my time at Porsche game, and pounding a lot of enemies, pumping, following the plot, playing local Gwent, and pulling back with bosses. In general, who if you don't know, Oceanhorn is a mobile game. Yes, without microtransactions, without any shit auto battle and all that. This is one of the most adequate mobile games in principle, about adventure, and the release on PC is a good sign. No bugs, bad optimization, crooked controls, and so on. Just a great game. But if you want difficulty, straightforward suffering, horror, and that still in co-op, then it is for you in Dark and Dark. Only you need to look in it not in Steam, but on the official site of developers. If you don't know what it is, it's Escape from Tarkov only in the underground world, and instead of automatons, bums with sticks, swords, bows, and magic are waiting for you. Visually, the game looks like something in between, like a dungeon crawler and collecting items from monsters. But let's not forget about the two main differences. Again, this is Escape from Tarkov. This means that besides you in this dungeon roam and other such players, most often in a cooperative up to 3 people. Secondly, there is a zone which is like in some royal battle, narrows and will kill you if suddenly dumb where. And the quest is the same as in Escape from Tarkov, get useful junk and get away. Blood, panic, overthrow of power, and all that unpleasant stuff. This is also what awaits you in Jagged Alliance 3, which is adored by fans and suddenly discovered by those who have never played this series. We get to Grand Chien. It's a country with a good set of natural resources, but suddenly the president disappears, and we collect mercenaries and go to earn money and save the president. Battles are turn-based. There are a lot of options for passing each game situation. Plus, there is an open story. Well, i.e., again, the variability of actions. In addition, the world here lives its own life, and you will periodically face attacks of bandits, the defense of their territories, and even with the training of locals that you fought better. In general, the thing is cool. Do you remember the game Icarus? It's where you and your friends fly to different planets, do quests, and fly back to the space station. So it's funny, the developers, instead of admitting that they fucked up a bit with the content and optimization of the game when it came out, took and started to finish everything. Just the other day, a new add-on called New Frontiers came out, with new maps, a whole 100 and more new items, new missions, and so on. Plus the game finalized, polish, and pull out reviews it in very positive. And I can tell you, it's fucking successful. Yes, the joints are still there. In itself, it is good. Like most of the games in today's selection, so I hope you found something cool for you today. I'm with you as always, Deni, and have a nice day.